This is The Wire for 2300 Zulu, July 29th, 2025. Precedence is routine. Information cutoff is 2200. Bottom line up front. Cambodia and Thailand implement ceasefire. High-profile shooting strikes Manhattan. Mob violence in Ohio highlights censorship concerns. Beginning with international events, in Southeast Asia, the war between Cambodia and Thailand has subsided as both sides have agreed to a ceasefire for the time being. The ceasefire went into effect yesterday after the leaders of both nations met in Malaysia to settle the border dispute. Analysts comment. It is always best to wait a few days before calling the conflict as being over. Conflicts in this region have a way of flaring up rapidly again. Nevertheless, both sides appear to be backing down after getting their licks in, though the broader issue of the disputed border remains unsolved. This conflict is most certainly not settled, however, things may at least remain tepid for a while. On the home front, in Georgia, a statewide recall of ice cream has been issued due to contamination concerns. Analysts comment. This is worthy of note as this safety recall came out at the same time as another nationwide ice cream recall, and the confusion between the two recalls can be very serious. The nationwide ice cream recall was issued not due to a health concern, but due to the labels on certain products not containing explicit guidance that dairy products contain milk. However, in Georgia, ice cream products from the Rich's Ice Cream Company were recalled due to listeria concerns, not a labeling error. As such, it's a good idea to double-check any frozen dairy products to ensure they are safe for consumption. In New York, a high-profile shooting was reported at the Blackstone building in Manhattan, which resulted in 4 fatalities. The shooter has been identified as Shane Tamura, who was recovered deceased at the scene. Analysts comment. As one might expect due to the high-profile nature of a shooting at this location, the manipulation of information regarding this incident is staggering. At the moment, it appears as though the shooter was attempting to target the NFL headquarters, but accidentally exited the elevator on the wrong floor, or took the wrong elevator altogether, reports differ, and thus ended up actually targeting the Blackstone Corporation. Authorities reportedly recovered a note from the scene which indicates the shooter may have been suffering from chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a brain disease common to football players. In Nebraska, this afternoon, a large explosion was reported at the Horizons biofuel facility in Fremont. 3 workers remain missing following the explosion, and the cause of the blast is not yet known. Analyst comments for this wire. Following a brutal attack over the weekend in Ohio, which has gone viral on social media, the impact of this event is worthy of note due to this event serving as not just another reminder of the importance of situational awareness, but also risk management when it comes to everyday social occasions. 2 event-goers at the Cincinnati Jazz Festival were attacked by a mob in the downtown area, which resulted in both being beaten severely. Local authorities have confirmed that out of the 100-plus people who were in the mob or otherwise were bystanders, only one person called 911 to report the assaults. Yesterday afternoon, the Cincinnati police chief berated those who expressed anger over this event online, along with those who point out the very obvious racial motivations for this gruesome attack. No arrests have been made, despite the dozens of cell phones that were present at the attack, and the assaults being well documented on social media by those bragging about taking part in the attack. As concerns grow globally regarding censorship, the situation in Cincinnati is a reminder that the United States is host to significant censorship efforts as well. Police wanting citizens to stop posting evidence of the attackers on social media to protect the attackers from people disliking them is not solely a British endeavor. Plenty of American agencies and organizations view the protection of criminals as one of their primary jobs as well. This is an unfortunate reality that transcends politics, as many Americans are discovering now that the European trend of censoring the identities of actively wanted criminals is becoming more common, and the idea of the wanted poster is gradually being removed from society in certain areas. All things considered, in 2025, it is always preferable to be socially stigmatized on the internet than it is to ignore indications and warnings that result in one being beaten by a mob in the street. All politics, morality, and philosophical ideations of what a society should be go out the window during a street fight, and though these kinds of attacks should not be accepted in American society, for the moment they are. We should not have to live like this, but that does not change the reality of the situation. As such, no matter which politician is in office, from the local level all the way to the top, it is always the responsibility of the individual to conduct their own risk assessments and make decisions accordingly. And it is the responsibility of every American to set the conditions for holding not just criminals accountable for their actions, but also to change the culture to ensure that criminals fear what their potential victims might do to them more than the slap on the wrist that the formal justice system will give them. This concludes The Wire for 2300 Zulu, July 29th, 2025.